Alright, hello everybody, I am the Spectre, and this is the Australian Esports League end of year tournament. And right now we have your semi-finals best of 3 between Mate in 6 and YMC. This is the first game of today, so hopefully we can bring you some nice Australian Dota coming up, and that's pretty interesting. I mean, in the recent patch, Valve said that they kind of nominated who was the drafter on either teams, and if you look here, everyone just has a nice little crown. So apparently everyone's drafting for both teams, so thanks, Volvo, you did a great job there. But onto the draft. Mate in 6 banning out the Visage as well as the Elder Titan. Poor Mr. Moops, stand-in Turtle Man, won't have his favorite buddy Visage to play with. YMC banning out the Clockwork. Of course, he's been so strong in this new patch with the change to experience gain as well as the creep equilibrium. He's just a very, very strong solo, and kind of with the movement away from tri-lanes, it's a lot harder to zone him out of the lane completely, so he can pick up some nice experience. YMC to make their second ban now. They do have a time penalty, so they will have less time, of course, to make those picks and bans. But Mate in 6 banning out the Elder Titan, looks like they don't want to go, or rather they do want to pick up Teamfight and don't want to go into the Elder Titan, who just really wrecks teamfights with that natural order, the chip damage that a Spirit can do, as well as just that massive ultimate coming out. And YMC actually banning out the Crystal Maiden, so she has been a hero that's been seeing a lot of first picks recently in the Australian scene, and you know, she is a strong hero. I don't know whether it's kind of first ban status. I think you'd probably prefer to ban out something like the Lich or the Nakes, but I guess a lot of emphasis has been put on supports lately, and YMC just deciding to take out that Crystal Maiden early on. So we can get into the proper part of the draft now. Mate in 6, of course, with the first pick. Will we see them go, as I was saying before, for more of one of the supports, or will they pick up their core lineup now? These two teams have had a pretty rocky way into the finals. I believe it was YMC. Let me just check the bracket here. But one of the teams actually tied for 4th place. Sorry, it was Team Storm. So YMC and Mate in 6 were our number 2 and 3 in the bracket, both with 3 wins and 2 losses during the round robin stages. So they do seem to be quite evenly matched. The last time that they versed each other, YMC beat Mate in 6. So we'll see if Mate in 6 can come back from it. And we see them pick up a Timbersaw, and YMC going instantly for the Weaver as well as the Alchemist, which are 2 heroes that Timbersaw isn't too bothered about, really. I mean, Weaver is so susceptible to that giant pure burst damage that comes out from Timbersaw, because Weaver's HP pool is so low. If you combo that up with a stun, kill him off before he can time-lapse, that Weaver isn't as scary as he was before. And of course, if it's a Timbersaw and Alchemist matchup in the mid lane, which is entirely possible, that Whirling Death is so damaging to Alchemist with the extra strength that it takes off. Although it did say in the patch notes that they'd kind of fixed the strength gain not applying kind of the health pool back properly from Whirling Death, so maybe a small bit of a nerf to Timbersaw that we'll see kind of change up his laning from now on. Because it was doing that extra bonus damage to strength heroes, as it should, while the stats are gone, but when the stats are back, it should be kind of back to a normal nuke, so we'll see if that kind of plays a part in a matchup, if Timbersaw and Alchemist are going head-to-head and have kind of that situation where you're throwing out Acid Spray and Whirling Deaths. But the OD picked up by Mate in 6, so more than likely that will be their mid laner. Of course, OD could be going into more of a safe lane carry role with Timbersaw in the mid lane, and, you know, Timbersaw could even go on the off lane. It's a pretty flexible draft that Mate in 6 have at the moment. They don't have kind of clear lanes that they can send their heroes to, which is something that you really want to try and do as a drafter, is to keep it as non-predicting as possible. So your enemies just can't counterpick. They'll be like, oh, this guy's going to be in this lane, we'll put these 2 heroes up against them to take him down. But the Clinks getting banned out by YMC, that physical damage bonus, such a pain. Searing Arrows is just absolutely insane. He's a great split pusher as well. The skeleton walk, you can be super mobile, as well as having that searing arrow strafe. It does so much damage to towers. So YMC banning him out. The Viper was also banned out by Maiden 6, one of the good counters to OD, and more than likely we'll see something banned out like the Razor, as that's kind of typically seen as the hard counter to OD. Just with that static link being such low mana cost, as well as his passive just stopping OD from really running away that much, as well as the link going through the imprisonment. So we do see the Razor banned out by MI6. Of course, YMC could still pick up something like the Kunkka or the Lone Druid, which are both seen as semi-decent counters to OD in that mid lane. Or they could just be happy losing out in that mid lane and focusing their attention on the other two lanes. The Alchemist wouldn't be the worst up against OD, but he's really kind of... he'll just be imprisoned up and harassed out of the lane. OD will just have that bonus damage to get all the last hits, and even with Acid Spray, that'll tick down the OD quite a bit. Alchemist just won't have the mana pool to cast it continuously, so I'm thinking that YMC will probably pick up someone different, but we do see a Lich here, so something that they could definitely do is dual lane that mid lane. It has been done semi-often, where Lich will just eat a creep. Of course, it pushes the creeps back towards you quite a bit, so unless OD is extremely on the ball about denying as soon as creeps get to half health, it'll constantly be on the uphill, which makes his life a lot more difficult. Of course, they could just be putting Lich on that safe lane, getting the Weaver a bit more farm, or Weaver could be going off lane. So, you know, as I was saying before, YMC themselves are keeping their lanes pretty open. Alchemist could be a mid, could be a lane support. We have even seen some farming Alchemists in the past, so the kind of the change to his ultimate hasn't ruled him out as a carry. I just think it's made him a lot stronger as a support. But MI6 picking up the Rubik, who of course is a great support in any kind of situation. The Lift being such kind of an instant casting, it's only about a 0.1 second delay, is great going up against that Weaver, because you can catch him in the Sakuchi fade time and also keep him in range of those sentries with the Lift and tossing back kind of into the middle of the range. So it's a nice pickup. YMC does respond to the Mirana, or does respond with the Mirana rather, so maybe we're going to be seeing some combinations of the Alchemist stun into an arrow. Alchemist stun isn't the best way to initiate. If you're trying to roam on the mid lane, OD is going to be able to imprison himself while the stun's flying out, but that in itself could be a setup for the arrow. So I mean, the OD is going to have to be very careful here about how he plays it. And with this, you know, we could be seeing the Mirana safe mid or off, and the Weaver kind of off or safe. So YMC, it's still, even at this stage of the draft, keeping the lanes quite open. It's looking like Maiden 6 are going to be running the Timbersaw off lane with the OD mid at the moment, seeing as they did ban out the Viper and the Razor, seeing as more mid counters than lane counters. You know, they do counter OD in most of the game, but they really give them a problem in the early game, so they will also pick up a Bounty Hunter, so maybe not. I mean, Bounty Hunter is one of Varge's favorites, who is a stand-in for Maiden 6 this game. And we can kind of see what he'll be doing this match. I mean, now it's looking more like it could be the Timbersaw mid with OD safe and Bounty Hunter off. Because, of course, as I was saying, the same things that I was saying, the Clockwork basically apply to Bounty Hunter, except he has the added benefit of being able to go invis, steal off those neutrals as well, if they're trying to pull on that easy lane. So, Bounty Hunter, he kind of fell out for a while, but he's really been making a kind of resurgence into the meta, and I think it's going to be a great pick for their lineup. It looks like they're going for a lot of mid-game aggression. With the Timbersaw Burst, the OD kind of orbs that are so effective before BKBs come online, with the Bounty Hunter track on top of that, it looks like Maiden 6 are looking to kind of snowball in this mid-game, but YMC themselves have quite a mid-game oriented lineup, and I guess that's kind of the trademark of Australian Dota, is where you don't get ultra-hard carries, you just go for these snowball-type heroes, and we do see YMC rounding it out with the TA, so they're definitely going to get very, very aggressive in this mid-game, with Weaver, Mirana, and TA all kind of hitting their stride in the mid-game, as well as having, you know, the full-level Alchemist Spray and Concoction. and the Lich ultimate online at 6. They're looking very scary for that mid game, but you can't count out Made in 6. I mean, they have the Rubik, who has a plethora of spells that he can steal that would be extremely useful. In fact, I don't think there's anything that would necessarily be bad apart from maybe Meld Strike wouldn't be the best. Reserve time. I think Rubik's going to have a field day this game, and Maiden 6 look like they want to take a team fight, so it might be different with the Lich, and the Bristleback will be the final pickup. So it is going to be a very aggressive team from Maiden 6. Timbersaw and Bristleback are just going to be jumping in the middle of these team fights. With tracks coming out, it's going to be so hard to run away from that Bristleback. You know, basically impossible. So it's going to be a good game. A very aggressive game between these two teams who are kind of at the same level of skill. So I'm looking to see a very good and even game here. But during this pause, we can introduce the teams. On the side of Young Money Club YMC, we have M or Eminem on that Weaver. Alchemist will be played by the stand-in Turtle Man, who is Moops from Noxious. The Lich will be played by Illusion Jesus, GV taking up that Marana, and 214 on the mid lane Templar Assassin. Meanwhile, over on Maiden 6, we have the Captain Gosu Panda on the Bristleback. The stand-in Thou on the Rubik. Potato will be your Bounty Hunter. And Varge playing the OD. Roger Dodger taking that final spot on the Timbersaw. So, as we can see from our stats, man, we've had a bit of delays. The server problems kind of kept us from starting games, and it was bugging the lobby out a tiny bit early on. But it looks like we're ready to go. We will see an unpause here. So this is, as I said, the first game of a best of 3 for AEL, and this is also the first semi-final of the day. There will be one between Hans Reborn and what's the other team? Let's see. It's Hans Reborn and Team Storm in the next final. So after this best of 3 is played out, I believe the next best of 3 is set to start at 2 PM, with the finals then at 4. So we should be having some nice games going on today. Eminem and Moops just sitting in this bottom lane, kind of keeping an eye on the jungle, but we see MI6 kind of just positioning themselves to go into their own. So it doesn't look like we're going to see any head-to-heads early on. GV just going to be in that off-lane Marana. Usually he plays the Clockwork pretty heavily, but it won't be available to him this game. It was banned out quite early in the drafts, but still, you know, GV, hookshot, arrow, obviously, he must be pretty good at aiming his spells, so hopefully we can see some exciting plays there. And the video will cut out just for a moment while I alt-tab on the stream, at least. In-game will be fine, so just give me one moment. Alright, and I'm back. So, it looks like Potato's just going to be scouting out that first rune. Looking for it in the top under Invis. We do have a ward here already placed down by the Radiant, so it should spot him out, picking up this double damage, so they will be expecting it. You do see the pings come out instantly, so they definitely know Potatoes is here, and it probably means 214 is going to be a little bit more cautious in this mid lane. And meanwhile, GV as well as Illusion Jesus will be more careful in this top lane. It does look like Lich has taken out one of the creeps in mid lane and has gone top, so we're going to be seeing standard kind of dual lanes from YMC. In comes Potato with the DD. We don't have any vision here, and Potato's just going to go for Illusion Jesus straight away. He plants down a ward, so he knows that Thau's coming through. Marana has the vision, but now GV's stuck in the middle, lifted up here. Bristleback's coming through with the goo as well. The leap backwards, but the Janata strike slowing him down with the goo, the double damage as well. Will they dive this? 3 stacks, but no. They decide level 1 is far too early to be diving in, and we get the instant D-ward from the Dire side here, and they are kind of doing a bit of a non-standard tri-lane. Potato just happy to be here alone, and Roger Dodger soloing down on bottom. We've got a stun coming in, full duration coming out. Roger Dodger might be in a bit of trouble here, needs to run out only has the reactive armor, and it doesn't look like the right-click damage is enough. You can see his health regenerating up so quickly. Eminem trying to come through. Secondary stun. One more right-click should do the trick, and Eminem picking up the first blood. And not taking too much harass from it either. And we see an instant TP back into the lane by Roger Dodger. Missing out on probably only about 2 creeps worth of experience. But a nice kill pickup from YMC there. They definitely need to try and keep this Timbersaw down and kind of make M more comfortable in this early game. YMC have spotted out the pull through here. So they're going to try and steal these creeps up. GV taking quite a bit of harass damage, but so is Thao. Potato coming in from the side, but no arrow thrown out. Mirana still sitting on low health, and she has to be careful of that Centaur. We've seen Centaurs stunning all the time, and we see him coming through now. The Nasal Goo going out on Illusion. Jesus, the lift. Now the right click's coming through fast. Looks like Illusion will be going down here. Nice arrow is actually going to stop the Bristleback, but it doesn't stop Potato. A nice pickup of a kill by the tri-lane, and they really need to do this. If they're not able to get off the full pulls, then they need to be going for kills, and they kind of punished the Lich very heavily there. He doesn't have any boots. That Nasal Goo just slowing him down so much in this early game, and just stepping a bit out of position there. But meanwhile, Templar Assassin not having a fun time in that mid lane, is sitting at 3 and 5 for Varge's 8 and 5. So, you know, he's doing quite well here. OD did have a lot of shared regen, so was definitely prepared for the harass damage coming out from TA, who is just popping a bottle charge before getting that illusion rune. Roger Dodger trying to throw out the Whirling Death there, but it will miss. And right now, Roger Dodger is doing quite well himself, sitting at 11 and 3. Eminem really not doing too much to a Timbersaw. He's only got 1 in the reactive armor and 2 into Whirling Death, so kind of a bit different to the standard build, as you normally see them grab kind of 2 levels in Timber Chain in that offlane position, but it's not kind of a true offlane. It is more like the one-on-one matchup. So we are actually going to see an engagement on top. GV getting slowed down by the Janata Strike. Potato getting hit through here by spells, but they don't have to follow up. Potato just too quick and can dodge the arrows very easily. And he has also picked up some dust as well as boots, so he's going to be nice and mobile here in this top lane. GV just happy with the bottle up now. Will be bottle crowing a bit, I would assume. But he needs to be careful, as of course TA has that bottle as well and will be needing as many charges as she can get. We do have Potato kind of sitting in this top lane, gets another double damage rune. Getting lucky with those runes, and Turtle Man Moops will spot out Roger Dodger, who's trying to mess up the pull through but doesn't quite succeed. So in fact, the double damage rune being just helped out by Varge there. He does keep it for his OD. We got pings coming out on Roger Dodger. Eminem looking to cut him off maybe, but I think doesn't want to give up the farm that he can grab in lane while he's gone. Timbersaw's been kind of roaming around a bit in the jungle, kind of thinking about what to do. He's being caught out a little bit. Potato is coming through now. Yeah, Roger Dodger, he was sitting at the top of the farm. Weaver's now caught up. Turtle Man's going to stun himself out. They saw this as well. In comes Potato, cancels off the south. He's going for the right clicks now. Roger Dodger, no Timber Chain, only the Whirling Death, but he'll be able to catch it now. Potato has overstepped his mark though. Eminem picking up 1 return kill. Roger Dodger taking quite a bit of tower shots as well. Needs to be careful here. Eminem in the middle of those creeps taking so much damage from that Whirling Death, and you can see having it up at level 3 has helped him out there, even without that Timber Chain. So it's just doing so much damage. You could see M dropping to half health from 1 spell, and that's kind of the power of the Timbersaw up against that Weaver that we were talking about in the draft. So M just needs to be really careful about chasing him under the tower or even close by. Templar Assassin just bottle crowing in this mid lane, and we do have a smoke up from Moops. It looks like they're going to be going for Varge. The stun is being channeled now. It's going to come out now. No time to imprison. He got nice and close. 2 traps on the high ground. Varge is going to be slowed up. The refraction damage is enough. So a kill on that OD is grabbed, and it was definitely needed. 214 struggling a bit in that mid lane, sitting at only 12 and 8 to OD's 26 and 14. So a nice rotation in from Moops there is going to secure YMC a bit more space in that mid lane. Meanwhile, the rune's spotted out, but Potato's just going to come in and grab it before 214 can. And that's kind of one of the most annoying things. The support even spotted it out, kind of half-guarded it, but you can't really guard anything against a bounty hunter unless you've got sentry wards in the vicinity, so he'll be happy just picking that up. Meanwhile, Roger Dodger does have the mana boots down in that bottom lane, so even though, you know, he had to go back, he's died once, he's not too bad. He's sitting at 24-3. If we take a look at the net worth, he's your third highest at the moment. Just behind the Weaver and TA, so YMC doing a good job on their lanes in this early game. We do see a bit of a dual lane in mid at the moment, maybe looking to be a bit more aggressive on 214, get a bit of a counter kill for the mid player, as Varge is sitting about a level underneath 214 at the moment. Moops is coming in, throws down a sentry ward, and they are able to de-ward this high ground, so quite a bit of vision denied for that OD, who really kind of relies on getting those imprisonments off. If you do have the ward on the high ground, it gives you the vision to get off those imprisonments, even when they're kind of hiding in the fog on the high ground. So that's actually going to help out 214 a hell of a lot in this mid lane. He does get imprisoned off right now. Potato maybe thinking of coming in. The sentry ward placed down, so we're going to see another D ward coming out in this mid lane. They're just trading sentries for sentries. Meanwhile, Moops has gone back to that bottom lane. Level 5 now with the level 3 stun. So Roger Dodger needs to be slightly careful. He does have one level of Timber Chain. Meanwhile, up in top, Tau goes down to the Starfall. Illusion Jesus now running for his life. He should go down to the Quills here, but the right click's coming through. Uses the magic wand, and the Quills get one kill. GV looking to fall as well. A double kill picked up by Gosu Panda. With those level 3 Quills, Bristleback just proving too much of a pain for this top lane, both going down there. They did manage to grab the Rubik though, so that is quite good. Varge gets stunned up in this mid lane, isn't able to dodge the concoction. Now Meld Strikes and Acid Spray coming through. The negative armor too much, but he does get out just in time. Moops didn't come forward just enough. Now Potato coming through. They need to deny this ward as soon as they can, but Moops just not confident in his ability to stand there. Meanwhile, M diving below that bottom tower. Timelapse is on cooldown, but gets a solo kill on that Timbersaw, which is really going to help him get those levels up. And we're going to see Varge coming in, maybe thinking of going for M, but now he's just coming through. Now the ultimate gets a double kill. Big pickup from Varge there. Great use of the ulti, grabbing that TA and Weaver. The refraction was down. He waited it out perfectly, and M just overstepping his mark there, way too squishy, and gets punished for it. So that's really going to help out Varge. He was starting to kind of lag behind after that death, as well as getting kind of harassed back by the TA and Alchemist, but hitting back in a big way there with the ultimate. So he's going to be very happy with this, and at the moment the kill score 6-6. If we look at the experience graph, it's basically even with the kills being traded by both teams. If we take a look at the gold, lots of dips, lots of a roller coaster ride this game so far, but not much gained by either team. It's basically neck and neck still right now, so you can see just by the net worth they're leapfrogging each other quite well. But of course, with these mid-game kind of heroes, you've got to think that the farm on the Bristleback compared to the Timbersaw is a little bit scary. That Bristleback now with a full mechanism purchased up, which is just a great survivability item for him. It can be a bit of a double-edged sword though, because mechanism does take up quite a bit of mana. Something that the Bristleback is quite low on. We are going to see a dodge of the stun by the OD just in time. Varge trying to run back now. Acid Spray and Meld Strike coming through. 2 more shots to do it. The arrow coming in from the side, picking up the kill. In comes Roger Dodger with the TP, but a double damage Murano is too much for him to deal with. The slow coming out from 214, but they're not going to dive it through. Moops has the stun readied, but needs to run back because he can't get in range, so he will just self-stun in the back line. Moonlight Shadow thrown out. Gosu Panda actually going on a killing spree in the top lane. Diving hard. GV coming through with the Starfall, but that Bristleback lowering of damage, just making diving so easy. Doesn't have the mechanism for another 30 seconds. He's trying to hide in the side, but in comes the stun. He turned around as well, takes full damage from the face. And GV ending the spree there, picking up a nice 400 gold, so grabbing 2 kills up early for this Mirana. She's gone up to the top of the net worth charts because of that, and she looks like just deciding what to build next. We could see her going into a multitude of builds. More than likely, the Templar Assassin will be picking up something like a Desolator. So I would assume we'd see something like the Yasha coming out from the Mirana. Might even go kind of the old school Mushi style and pick up a Shadow Blade just for some more ganking potential apart from that Moonlight Shadow. But it's a build that hasn't been done in quite a while. But you know, all of these kills so far have been trades. Both teams have been great with rotations into the lanes, so it's good and bad. I mean, they're both kind of getting what they need to. It's just who will be kind of the main benefactor of these trades. At the moment, it looks like YMC is getting the better end of the deal, sitting at 3,000 ahead in experience as well as around 2,000 in gold. So a lead starting to open up in that regards. And we're going to see a 4-man push on this top lane. GV just looking to defend it up a bit, but we have the track now. The full team just going face rush style here. The leap, level 1, just able to get him away in time. Some harassment coming back from the Lich. In fact, Potato getting stunned up under the tower. Mechanism getting thrown out, but the Starfall picks up the kill. Lich throwing out the ultimate behind the lines before he kills off. It's bouncing through creeps, goes back to Panda. Twice he's going to go down here. GV trying to right-click him down. But the mechanism, sorry, not the mechanism charge, oh, the arrow picks him up there. The magic stick was keeping him alive, but no longer. GV just keeping him here at the moment. Double Starfall shot as well as the Meld Strike. It won't keep GV alive, but it picks up the kill for 214. Big streak ended by Roger Dodger before he dies, and luckily catching the kill before he died off, getting full experience and gold, or full experience for that at least. But meanwhile, YMC take that tier 1 tower at bottom, so just being a tiny bit more efficient. It was a good little a trick of GV just keeping him in this area. Roger Dodger keeping him in that area for 214 to come through. Now 214 going on Potato. The lift from Thao though, he's also stolen off the traps, using it to slow down the Lich just a tiny bit. Potato is here and they don't have any form of reveal at this moment, so he will be able to just run back. Potato doing some harass damage. In comes Varge as well as Roger Dodger. We have Templar Assassin in a lot of trouble here. Refraction charges dropping rapidly and he goes down. Tries to pick up Potato, but just not enough damage coming out there. So 214 getting caught out in this top lane. Kill score 12 to 10 right now. We've seen almost 2 kills per minute in this game so far. So as I was saying before, these teams are both kind of mid-game aggression, and these early trades are going to really set the pace of the game. But with the Bounty Hunter level 6 now, that track gold is likely to have a big effect on the outcome of these fights. We don't want to see the trades, and that courier almost caught out, but we see it looks like one of the golems ate it, or the courier just isn't affected by it. I would assume there are some weird interactions that way. Meanwhile, in the top lane, we have an imprisonment coming out on Illusion Jesus. Lich, very far out by himself. Moonlight Shadow doesn't kick in time. So the Lich will be going down there. Nice pickup kill, but they're using this Moonlight Shadow offensively now. Gosu Panda getting smashed down. GV picking up another kill, now sitting at 7-2-1. A great score for him. He is building up that Yasha. Could, of course, be going into a Diffusal. But more often than not, Maranas will just pick up a Yasha first, even if it is just a casual Yasha. This Rubik being so annoying with these traps, and it looks like we have MI6 trying to take down this top tower. We have a TP in from Lich. He's trying to come in here, but it is a very long TP coming through. M getting taken out of the fight before it even begins. He has treads up, also building towards that Lincoln Sphere, which is going to be really good for stopping that imprisonment. Meanwhile, in mid lane, the arrow comes out, narrowly misses on Potato. GV just off the mark now, 2-on-4 in a lot of trouble. The stun coming out from Moops here will be thrown onto Gosu Panda, right to the face, takes full damage, and he goes down. Meld Strike from 2-on-4 seals the deal. Now Potato with the DD trying to come through here, but 2-on-4 is just dodging as best as he can. The arrow coming out from GV. It's going to catch Potato and grab the kill. GV just on fire with these arrows today. Now 8-2-2. He's just doing so well. Has the Yasha completed up with the phase boots. Marana, GV just doing a great job here. 2-on-4 also with the Yasha. So they're saying, look, you know, you have the track face rush. We're just going to go for a Yasha face rush. Alchemist, of course, also gets that bonus movement speed from his ultimate. So we're going to see some nice stunts coming out in these big kind of chasing team fights. And we have right now YMC, the top 3 farmers in the game, M, the Marana, and the TA sitting in those top positions, and that's a position that they're going to be very happy with. But of course, MI6 definitely not out of it by any means. The experience sitting at around 7,500, the gold at around 5. But if MI6 can get some good trades, defend these tier 2 towers well as the uphill with the tier 3s, they're going to be able to maybe pull it back with some good trades with the track gold. Of course, you can never count out a team when they have that bounty hunter with the track up. So hopefully bounty hunter being played by Potato can kind of sneak MI6 back into this game. But right now, YMC in a decently commanding lead at the moment as far as experience is going. I think GV is just getting a bit excited from all the mass arrows that he's been hitting around the map. Too excited for him. But we can take this time to thank our sponsors, Esports Daily. You can actually check out, for anyone in-game, the live stream, which is twitch.tv/esports daily. So thank you very much to those guys for hosting this tournament. This is the Australian Esports League end-of-year tournament. This is our semi-final best of 3, our first semi-final of the day. Game 1 at the moment between YMC and MI6. So game still paused up at the moment, but hopefully we can get back into it shortly. And there we have unpause from both teams. Right now, Gosu Panda has the mechanism, no upgraded boots, so basically the mech is the biggest thing he has to his name. Full duration 1 charge as well, so that's basically half of his health pool that he can gain back if he pops off the mech and the wand at the same time. So we might see some dives coming out from Bristleback soon. But it does look like YMC are heading towards this top tower, looking to take it down in the next minute or 2.
Dire's top tower.
We do have no TP reactions so far. The rest of the team starting to show up. GV comes in behind the line. Starfall on the creep wave. Gets imprisoned out by OD, who's just kind of staying back here. He will walk in line of a trap. We're going to see 2 TBs coming in. Potato getting instantly stunned up, but he is invisible right now. No kind of invis detection. In fact, dust popped up by both teams, I believe. A great ultimate coming out from Lich. Roger Dodger and Thao going down instantly. Gosu Panda comes back in, but he's brought it back to his whole team. They're getting slowed down as well. The 4-staff coming out from Varge. He needs to get back here. The arrow coming in will narrowly miss, but Weaver picks up the kill regardless. Gosu Panda running for his life, but he can run quite effectively with that Bristleback. Does have the mechanism still up his sleeve as well. Might be a bit of a bait. The Meld Strike coming through. There you see the mech popped off. Potato is in invis as well, so he's trying to run out, but a nice arrow from GV again, picking up the Bristleback. Potato trying to run through, but 2 on 4. Doesn't seem to have any vision at the moment. There's no gem on either side, so Potato will be safe for now, but a great fight for YMC there. They pick up the T1 tower. They trade effectively for the kills. In fact, Potato coming in now. GV needs to be careful, but he can just turn around here, just missing out on the arrow, but it hits on Thao. He can throw out the Starfall in just a second. One more shot and Thao will go down. In fact, he tosses him closer, but GV doesn't go for the last hit. Varge coming through with the right clicks, not choosing to use the ultimate, thinks he can do it with just the right clicks. The orb will be enough. A nice track kill picked up as well as a spree ended, so that's going to be quite a chunk of gold going towards Varge. And they successfully defend that tier 2 tower. YMC just overstaying their welcome there in the top lane, so a nice little return kill, probably the kind of best kill that they could hope for as well, coming out on GV. We've got a stun being channeled up by Tortoman here in this bottom lane. Gosu Panda is running back though. The trap gets sprung, but it's just not enough for Moops to get in and up there. But right now, YMC sitting at almost 12,000 experience ahead. If we take a look, it's at just about 9,000 gold, so YMC taking a very commanding lead in this early stages of this game. It is only 19 minutes in, so plenty of time for MI6 to come back into this. And we actually see An S and Y picked up by Mirana, something I definitely wouldn't have picked. And Vaj needs to be careful here, gets imprisoned, but Mirana can follow with the leap. Of course, he still does have the 4-stuff. We see an arrow coming through, just gonna miss. 4-stuff used as well, but I think it would have missed regardless. And TA looking to complete that BKB. Only around 200 gold off it, and once she picks that up, she's not going to be stunned out by the Rubik. She's not going to be tracked up by the Bounty Hunter. Or, actually she is, but she's not going to be susceptible to that burst damage of the Alchemist. Not the Alchemist, sorry, the Timbersaw. As well as the orb damage from the OD. So, as soon as TA gets up this BKB, I mean, the Dire have to be very careful. The only thing that's really going to be effective in taking her down are the quills, of course, of the Bristleback, as they are physical damage. Now, GV caught out here. The orbs coming through, the Janata as well as the track. 4-staff used, then leap used. The imprisonment comes out as well. The tower's low, 2-on-4, as well as a TP rotating in. GV already goes down. 2-on-4 lifted in the air. The nasal goo coming through. Illusion Jesus throwing out the ultimate. It's only going to bounce once though. Now he's in horrible trouble. In comes Roger Dodger as well. Rubik actually picking up the kill. Moop's in a bad position. Going for Gosu Panda though. 2-on-4 coming forward as well. Roger Dodger throwing out that whirling death. Eminem's joined the fight. He's got the Lincoln Sphere completed up. He's going for the right clicks now. We've got the reveal coming out on the on 2-on-4. Gosu Panda getting stunned out by the Alchemist, getting hit down by M, but it's just not enough damage. Getting that Lincoln Sphere first is just not giving him enough. Big dive in from Roger Dodger. The meld strike coming through though. 2-on-4. Refraction comes out in time, but it's not enough. Moop's now running for his life. Gets imprisoned, and all 5 from MI6 are still up. It's going to be 3 kills, at least 2 of them track kills, so a great pickup from MI6 as well as the tier 1 tower in top. That's probably the best fight that MI6 could have hoped for. In fact, the arrow also going to fly wide, so with GV going down first in this engagement, it just cost them so much. M trying to stop Vargas TP, but it's not going to be enough. Needs to be careful. Does time-lapse back, but GV going ahead, getting very aggressive. The arrow flying out. Full duration. Well, not full duration, but full stun coming out there. Double hit from the Starfall. Turns around, throws out that Chakram, but it's not going to be enough. GV picking up that return kill before all of MI6 can retreat. If we take a look at the experience, it did take a sharp dip down with that last fight. MI6 pulling it back to only a 6k advantage to YMC. If we take a look at the gold, it was almost 10k, now just under 5. So that track gold definitely coming into effect as well. So MI6 doing a very good job of staying in this game. As I said, you can never count out a team that has track gold. So this game has definitely got a lot more exciting, and it's all that MI6 really need. They just need to play these engagements carefully and pick off what they need to. The arrow is going to come out, hit Gosu Panda from the side. No reduction there. GV smartly getting in front of Panda before dropping that Starfall. Mechanism comes out just in time, but the Bristleback still goes down, and we have all 5 from YMC in this bottom lane. They might decide to take down Roshan at the moment. They do have quite a lot of negative armor. They in fact smoke into the pit, but the Dire don't have any vision down here, so the Medallion from Moops coming out, as well as the Acid Spray and the Desolator. But it looks like MI6 do think something's coming here. The arrow narrowly misses, but Potato still in range there. The dust comes out. Weaver picking up the Aegis meanwhile, and Lich picking up a kill on the Bounty Hunter, and that's a hero they definitely need in these fights, just for the track gold. Without the track gold, MI6 don't really have a good way of getting back into these fights, and now we have a Weaver with Aegis as well as time-lapse, and 2-on-4 with the BKB pickup, so YMC looking very strong to take out the next fight. And still, this Mirana SNY is confusing me. I guess the extra strength that the Sanjay gives you is kind of good against the Timbersaw, but I don't know, you don't especially need the meme chance on a Mirana. Maybe it's kind of useful for chasing down the Bristleback here, but I think it would have been better just grabbing up the casual Yasha and then, you know, maybe going into something else that would give you a bit of, you know, damage. Maybe even the Urn. I don't believe anyone has picked one up on their side yet, so yeah, definitely an Urn she could have picked up. Yeah, even the Maelstrom from Bloodlock, even the Desolator, but we are going to see Vaj stunned out. It looks like the arrow was stolen. We are going to see a Moonlight Shadow getting thrown out, so that imprisonment is actually going to work in their favor. The stun does hit on Illusion Jesus. The dust popped off as well. BKB popped by 2-on-4. Big melt strikes coming through. One down from each team so far. 2-on-4 just lasting so long though. Not able to do any damage from in the BKB, but now it wears off and he needs to be careful. The imprisonment up on 1 while they're chasing down 2-on-4. Stun coming in from Turtle Man. Varge dropping desperately low. The Desolate, sorry, not Desolate, the Melt Strike damage doing so much. Arrow gonna come through, but it's just not enough. Roger Dodger picking up the kill on the TA. Both teams losing a core. GV now also picking up a kill. Desolator picked up by M in the midst of things. G, an excellent stun coming out from Moops. He's trying to run as fast as he can. The ultimate coming out from Roger Dodger. Picking up a double kill and killing off the Mirana there. Gosu Panda trying to TP out. Moops doesn't have the goods to kill him off in time. Eminem does have the Desolator, but it's not on him yet, so Roger Dodger flies out. The stun coming out just too late, and that stun can't be disjointed, so I believe that's just going to come through and hit him in a second. There we go. The cask hitting him in the fountain there, so just a moment too late on the release from Moops. It was on cooldown, so you can't really blame him there, but a big fight there. Kills going both ways. The score now 25-19. If we look at the experience, it was in favor of YMC. Those trades back up to around 10k. If you look at the gold, it's keeping steady at about 7.5k. And if MI6 didn't have that Bounty Hunter with the track gold, they would be even further behind in the gold. So Bounty Hunter definitely instrumental in them being able to even kind of half keep pace with this YMC team right now. Lich does have the mechanism, as well as the Tranquil Boots, has the wards ready to go out as well. Moops does have the Phase Boots and Medallion, no kind of item progression since then. Bounty Hunter just picking up that Vlad's, which will help a lot with Bristleback's stability. It gives him both the armor as well as the lifesteal. In fact, Moops now picking up the Blink Dagger, and that's probably one of my favorite items on a support Alchemist. You can start channeling up that stun, then you just blink directly next to someone and throw it out, and they don't have time to dodge it. It's just a long range, very long duration stun, so MI6 had a small window where they could have picked that out. There was a tiny bit where where Moops was next to the creep wave, so it's going to be interesting to see whether they can pick it out. The arrow's going to come out. It narrowly misses Potato, but the courier here is going to get picked off by M. In fact, Ruby Phoenix picking up a prize, one of the players from Team Storm. We do see the dust used by Moops, but Bounty Hunter had already run back, but a courier kill, definitely something they'll be happy with. A leap forward as well as an arrow. Varge not getting slowed out actually, the trap just off the mark, but they do pick up a tier 2 tower. Now Ping's coming out on their top. They want to take down every tier 2 tower. Roshan still has a while before you can respawn, 4.5 minutes at the least. That Aegis will be lasting just that little bit longer, so another 2.5 minutes about. So Weaver, he didn't lose it in the last fight, so I mean, YMC are looking quite good to take a fight if they want to. Speaking of, Roger Dodger is going to be able to timber chain to the high ground, but they know exactly where he's going. The arrow is going to scout for vision. It's going to stop Gosu Panda coming in. Even with the blink, Moops can't get in range in time. The TP out now, but the mini stun coming out from the Lich ultimate. They pick up the kill. A nice use there, of course, for people who don't know. The Lich ultimate throws out a mini stun as soon as it's cast. It's not when the projectile hits, but it's when the spell is actually cast. So a great way to cancel out that TP, and with the cooldown, it's 1.5 minutes, so it should be ready by the next major fight. They might have a bit of a tussle getting in position for this tier 2 tower, but I think the big fight is going to be when YMC look to take down the tier 3, so at the moment, they are just going to pressure it slightly, and I don't think YMC necessarily need that Lich ultimate to take these fights. We're going to see Moonlight Shadow thrown out. The track is thrown as well as some dust. The stun's going to come out on Roger Dodger. He's dropping fast to this right clicks. Big ultimate thrown out by the OD, but it's just not doing enough. YMC all down at about half health. Gosu Panda needs to get off these cool sprays, doing a lot of damage, but he will go down. Bounty Hunter also taking a fall. Now they're just chasing here. Roger Dodger gets taken down during the timber chain. The Aegis now popped. Varge using the imprisonment means he can't stop himself from getting stunned. But now the Rubik throwing a stun back. Eminem doesn't have the time lapse. He needs to be careful here. Will go down. It's a triple kill for GV though. Varge picks up 1 kill. looks to come back. Roger Dodger is back in this game thanks to that Bloodstone. The BKB popped by Vaj, but this is right-click damage from a TA. I think a bit of a misuse there. TA now going to town on Roger Dodger as well. In the middle of that chakram now. Moves, doesn't have enough mana for the stun. The Timber Chain will come out just before the Starfall will hit. But heavy losses from MI6 there. A couple of losses from YMC too, though. They dropped the Weaver, their lead farmer in this game, so that is, you know, the worst loss that they can kind of expect from one of these fights. If we take a look at experience, it has gone up heavily in YMC's favor. Now 14,000 to their side and 13,000 in the gold. Just Bounty Hunter isn't lasting long enough in these fights to get out multiple tracks, and it's really starting to hurt them. The gold continually climbing, plus the amount of map vision that YMC have in this top lane is ridiculous. They've got so many sentry wards, as well as normal wards coming out here. In fact, a little cheeky ward here placed down by the Dire, just out of reach of that sentry ward placed down by YMC. But right now, with the gem pickup on the Lich, it makes it a lot harder for the Bounty Hunter to really do anything in these fights, and it also secures them a lot of map vision, so really, YMC are just choking out MI6 at this point. They're happy to take fights when they want, and Potato just getting smashed by that ult is kept alive by the mechanism, though. Mirana has finished up the butterfly. If she wants to grab it, it is just in her stash, so ready to fly out as soon as the courier is done in the secret shop. It was picking up a Demon Edge for 214. So it looks like 214 already has the Crystallis, looks to be going into the Daedalus, is just off it in terms of gold. So we will be seeing the Daedalus coming out shortly, and that's a lot of damage. I mean, OD went for the BKB, which is pretty much essential because he does need to last through these fights without getting hit down by these long duration stuns of the arrow, as well as the magic damage that GV pumps out. But by that same token, there is so much physical damage coming out from the side of YMC. You've got a Desolator Weaver as well as a TA. The Mirana isn't too shabby herself. As I said, picking up that Butterfly, sitting at a bit over 200 damage. So she's no lightweight herself. So that BKB, while it's great and you know, necessary, he's still going to get hit down by the right clicks from YMC. So YMC just a really nice draft, I gotta say, from them. They've got a nice mix of magic damage through the Lich and the Mirana, as well as physical damage that is, you know, complemented even more by the Desolator, as well as Acid Spray, Medallion, and everything that they basically have. Gossip Panda trying to run. In fact, GV is going to get hit by a long duration arrow stolen off by Rubik. Eminem lifted here. Potato going for a kill, but the gem on Lich is too much. A double kill now for 214. They're just going to town, and they need to be careful here. We have Roger Dodger trying to get back. It's just a short range stun though, and a big stun coming out from Alchemist. That is 4 down for the price of nothing, and YMC can easily take this high ground now. Potato just obviously not spotting out the gem on Lich, just tries to walk past the entire team, getting instantly blown up there, and the only one still survived is this OD, and an OD is not a tower defender, especially against this many heroes. We're going to see a Blink Force from Alchemist coming through. Vaj gets stunned out. GV follow up with the stun from Arrow. We're going to see them just diving in here. The BKB thrown out, and he just melts. OD down already. Potato dropping low, will get taken down by that Lich ulti. Thou taking it back to the fountain, but it doesn't bounce to Panda. But that's just opened it up. The good game does get called by Gosu Panda. YMC do take the first game out. The final score 37-20. The experience 26k. The gold 22k in their favor. And you could see both teams drafted mid-game snowball kind of lineups. But YMC just getting the better of the deal and will start to lead 1-0 in this best of 3. I have been the Spectre. You can follow me on Twitter at SpecDota, as well as please check out the Esports Daily Twitch stream, twitch.tv/esports daily for the rest of these matches today. We will be coming up with Game 2.